They say that the wind of heaven is that which blows between a horse's ears, and this heavenly wind blew in Egypt thousands of years ago. The history of Egyptian Arabian horses goes back to the pharaonic age, as depicted with their prominent features on tombs and temples' walls. Later in history, the Arab Peninsula became popular with purebred Arabians, which made Muhammad Ali Pasha and Ibrahim Pasha import to Egypt some of the best Arabians back then. Following their steps, Abbas Pasha I not only purchased and bred pure Arabians from the peninsula, but also documented horse families in a manuscript that is still regarded as a reference until today.
Abbas Pasha the first, he was crazy about horses and he lived with the Bedouins, he loved that life. And he purchased a huge number of purebred Arabians from the Arabian Peninsula and brought them to Egypt. And established his own stud farm. They even called it al-Marbat when you refer to in the manuscript. And then he sent someone to, because you know the Arabs, they never wrote anything down. They were illiterate and they studied everything. So he wanted to have written testimonials, and he sent an emissary to Arabia to collect all the testimonies from all the sheikhs of the different tribes. And he collected all these in a book which is known as the Abbas Pasha manuscript.
After he died, pure Arabians in Egypt were in danger, as his horses were either given away or sold to foreigners, until Ali Pasha Sharif preserved the pure breed by buying some of the best horses of Abbas Pasha at an auction.
Upon his death, my great-great-grandfather, who bred his own, he had his own breeding stables and bred Arabian horses, he bought the best of the largest number of horses and added them to his own stables. And he was very famous for he had the best at his time in the world. Later on, there was an English woman called Lady Anne Blunt who was living in Egypt, and she had it was Sheikh Obeid, her stud farm, right? Sheikh Obeid, the farm. And she bought horses upon his death, horses were sold at auction, and she bought a large number and took them to England. In the late 30s, I mean, they wanted to establish a breeding farm to improve the horse in general in Egypt. And after unsuccessful attempts at breeding Arabians to thoroughbred mares or vice versa, the result was not good. They were ugly animals and ill-tempered, and so they decided to stick to purebred. So they went to England and bought back 18 horses of the breed of Ali Pasha Sharif and Abbas Pasha, of course. And they founded the nucleus of what became now the Zahra stud farm of the Egyptian Agricultural Organization, which used to be the Royal Agricultural Organization.
Today, besides riding for leisure, breeding straight Egyptian Arabians became mostly for beauty and maintaining a legacy.
Mainly I breed for type, the Egyptian Arabian type. It's the quality, the beauty that separates the Egyptian Arabian from any other Arab horse. To preserve the Egyptian Arabian horse, we need a breeder that has a lot of knowledge about that breed. You need to know exactly what you need, what that breed should look like. Know, study, see a lot of horses. Try to build your own database.
Nowadays, beauty championships are held nationally and globally for breeders to compete with their best production, where only certified purebred Arabians are allowed to join, being evaluated based on certain criteria.
Some criteria you judge the horses according to. First, the type, and then head and neck, body and top line, legs, and then movement. Type is a very wide thing to talk about, but to put it in a very short sentence, you have to say, when the horse comes to you, even from a distance, you can tell, first, he's an Arabian, a male or female, a horse with a charisma, almost what's his age. So, sex, age, and identity, Arabian. This is to put the word type in a very short way. So then you get into the head and neck. Arabian head and neck are very, very special. It's a small head, smaller than all other breeds, with big, round, black eyes. We love them more if they're pumpy, they're coming out of the skull, and with a very wide forehead, small ears, nice cheekbones, a good distance between the two cheekbones, small muzzle, big nostrils, looking to the front. This is what you look at the head. Then a good attachment between the head and neck with what they call madbah. This even in other languages they call it madbah, which is the connection between the head and the rest and the neck. It should be thin, kind of long and clear and clean. This is for the head and neck. And then comes to the connection between the neck and the rest of the body. Where the neck is placed. Is it upright? Is it low? Is it low set? And this leads you then to the rest of the body. First of all, the angle of the shoulder blade actually, should be like a 45 degrees. So if this angle is good, it leads you to the movement. Arabian should be a square horse. A square horse, that it means you take like from the point of shoulder to the point of hip. It should be the same distance or the same length from the highest point of the horse till the ground. It should be almost the same. It means a square horse, a well-balanced horse. And then you divide the horse into three parts: shoulder, barrel, and croup. Should be almost equal as well. As equal as they get, as better the horse is.
Although now we are less dependent on horses in our daily lives, yet the increase in numbers of Egyptian Arabian stud farms, both locally and internationally, reflect the acknowledgement of the value of those creatures. This is Rana Ashraf for AUC TV.